Welcome. Thanks for joining me for this introduction to core strength for women. This is a 15-minute sampler class that will introduce you to some of the moves that we use in a regular core strength class. Thanks for joining me. To get started, come to a comfortable seated position on your mat. Root in through your sit bones, lower or close your eyes. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale. And just ground down for a moment. And what I mean by that is to bring your gaze inwards. Notice how you're showing up today, what you're feeling in your body, what you're thinking in your mind. Notice what your breath is like. And then take a deep inhale and exhale. Flutter your eyes open. Bring your left hand to the mat beside you and inhale your right arm up to the sky, bringing your right bicep to your right cheekbone. Feeling that beautiful stretch in the side body. And then exhale, bring your right hand to the mat beside you and your left arm comes up. And release. And bring your right hand over to your left for a gentle twist. Left arm comes behind your body. You have a nice straight spine here. Just waking up the spine. And then we're going to walk our hands in a giant crescent shape until we come to the front of our seated pose. And then we're going to pause here and just release the neck. You might feel this in your hip, in your thoracic spine or neck. And then walk your hands over to the other side. And back to center. Come to cat-cow position. Tabletop to start. Bringing your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Take a deep breath, drop your belly down, look up slightly, lift your sit bones to the sky, and then exhale, tuck your chin and round your back. Let's do this 3 times, just warming up the spine, moving at your own pace. Again, bringing that awareness to what you're feeling today and how it may be different than other days. And then come to pause. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. As you exhale, pull this belly button towards the spine, engaging the core, and pull up on the pelvic floor. Let's do that again. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, pull the belly button towards the spine and pull up on the pelvic floor. Good. We're going to come back to this core engagement throughout this practice. One more time, inhale. Exhale, find that root lock. Engage the core and pelvic floor. And then holding it there, extend your right leg back, keeping your hips in line. Your toes are just grazing the mat. You can keep your 2 hands down on the mat, or maybe reach your left arm out in front of you, but it's going to get a little tricky, so you decide what you're feeling today. From here, float the right leg up so that it is in line with your hip. You're staying super strong here, working on your balance. You can put that other hand down at any time. And then from here, we're gonna bring our right knee forward to our right elbow. Moving with control. And then slowly, carefully extend it back. So you can have the left arm out if you want a real challenge, and bring that right knee to the right elbow and back. But most of us are going to keep our hands planted. We're going to do this one more time. And back. Release down. Extend your left leg back this time. Toes to the mat. Stay here or extend your right arm forward. Float the left knee up. Hold here for a moment. Remember to breathe. And then either keeping the right arm floating or pressing it down. Bring your left knee to the left elbow and take it back. Keep that core engagement the entire time. Left knee to left elbow and back. Left knee to left elbow and back. Beautiful. Release down. Tuck your toes, spread your fingertips wide, lift your hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. Walk it out here for a moment. Pressing into one heel and then the other, maybe lifting up on both heels and then pressing again. Got a comment from a student the other day saying, I can never get my heels down in down dog. I feel so tight and inflexible. And let me tell you, I've been practicing yoga for almost 20 years and I still can't get my feet down in down dog. My hamstrings are very tight. There's, I want you to resist the temptation to think there's a right way and a wrong way of doing this. It's really about what you feel in your body. Good. And then walk your feet to your hands. Pausing for a minute to grab for both elbows, releasing the neck and coming into ragdoll. You can rock side to side or just stay put in this beautiful Uttanasana forward fold. And then release. We're going to come up halfway so that our spine is nice and straight. And from here, I want you to find that core engagement again. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Pull the belly button to the spine, lift up on the pelvic floor. And then we're going to bend the right knee and extend the right hand down. You can bring it all the way to the mat or to a block. Reach the left arm up for a stretch. And then switch. Bend the left knee, bring the left hand down, and reach the right arm up. And now we're going to do some core work. So you can continue doing this the way I'm demonstrating with the block and where you're pressing on the mat or a block. Or you can remove the block and simply use your core, floating that hand and switching. So we're doing some active stretching here. Again, keep that core engagement the entire time. Beautiful. And release both hands down. Step your left foot back so that you're coming into a low lunge. You can float that back knee or you can drop it down, whatever works best for you. From here, reach the right arm up and plant the left arm down. So you can be here. You can also come up and be here. This is perfectly good variation. Beautiful. Bring that hand back down and then float that knee again. With control, we're going to step our right leg back and step our left foot forward. You can have that knee floating or drop it down. Plant in through the right hand, reach the left arm up. And release down. Now we're going to transition again to the other side. We're really working on core strength here, so be aware of that core lock, that root lock. Pull the navel to the spine, engage the pelvic floor, lift up, step your left foot back, step your right foot forward, float the knee or drop it down, come into the other side. This time, everyone bring your back knee to the mat and then untuck your toe. Lift your arms up to the sky. Pausing here in this beautiful hip flexor stretch. And then bring your hands to prayer and heart center. Take your left elbow towards your right knee for a twist. Back to center. Hands to the mat. We're going to do that transition again. So tuck the back toe, engage the core and pelvic floor, lift up on the hips, up on the core, up on the pelvic floor, step your right leg back, and then step your left foot forward. Lower, down, bringing that right knee down. Beautiful. And then untuck the toe. You can heel toe your left foot out if you need some space, and lift your arms up for lizard lunge. Bring from lizard lunge, to Anjaneyasana. Bring your hands to prayer and heart center, and then take a twist. Back to center. We're going to do that same transition. Tuck the back toe, lift up, keep that root lock engaged, step back to high plank position, hold it here for a moment. Keep the core and pelvic floor engaged, hold it here. Nice straight line, you don't want your butt up in the air, right? We're not doing down dog. And you definitely don't want your hips sinking low. It can hurt your back. Release, drop your knees. We're just going to come into hero's pose for a moment. Bring your knees together. Widen your ankles, hip distance, and sink down. You can also sit on a block here if that's uncomfortable. You can walk your hands back slightly. And then release. Come to a seated position. Bring your hands to the side. So we're going to bring our arms out, palms facing each other. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, engage the core and pelvic floor. Come to your toes, your tippy toes. Lift one foot up, bring it down. Lift the other foot up, bring it down. So you're just raising the foot so that your shin becomes parallel with your arms. And as you start to build strength, maybe you start to switch legs mid-air, or even begin to lift both feet up at the same time. But don't overdo it. You want to make sure you're keeping that root lock the entire time. If you're straining when you're doing core exercises and you lose that root lock, the opposite thing that you want to happen happens. And that is that you start to push out on the abdominal wall and you can actually cause bulging. So always go at your own pace. Beautiful. Come to pause, drop your heels. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs Engage the core and then lower all the way down to the mat. Roll your shoulders underneath you. Lift your hips up to the sky. Come into bridge pose. And we're going to imagine that marble moving from our sternum to our belly button. So it's at our sternum, and as we lower down, it moves to our belly button. Our hips don't actually touch as we come down. Lift up and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep going here. We're just going to do one set this way. Keep engaging that core and pelvic floor. If you've had difficulty identifying where it's at, this pose can help. And then pause at the top. Now heel toe your feet out so that they're slightly wider than the mat. And we're going to do the same thing. Lower almost to the mat and then lift. Lower almost to the mat and then lift. Lower and lift. Keep going here. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Keep that core engaged. Keep going. We're only doing one set. You're already halfway through. 2 and 1. Lower all the way down. Pull your knees in. Give yourself a hug. You can rock side to side. Massaging the lower back, glutes, the adrenals. And then come to pause. Release. Take up space in your mat and come into your final Savasana. Just taking a moment here to rest. Lower, close your eyes. Just let your body relax on the mat, whatever that means for you. Come back to that awareness of your body. Notice how much calmer your mind is after only 15 minutes. Notice how much more relaxed your body is. Take a deep inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, stretch your arms over your head. Roll onto your side body. And when you're ready, come to a comfortable seated position. We'll close today with one final breath. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, fill up. Exhale, hands to prayer and heart center. Take a moment to show yourself gratitude for showing up today and taking this time to do something good for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.